A couple Bitcoins. Pull up on my Nakamoto.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the Blockchain Dynamics Show.
Hello.
This is episode number 19.
Yes, indeed.
It is Saturday, July 9th.
Hey, Brando.
What's up? My name is Brandon Doge, of course. I'm here with Woody.
Hi, guys.
And we're really stoked to be doing the show today.
Yes, indeed, once again.
We're happy to announce this week's show is brought to you guys by Cryptopia. Cryptopia is an altcoin exchange and forum, and actually they have a bunch of really cool stuff on their website.
Yep.
www.cryptopia.co.nz.
And they hooked us up with some dots that they're going to let us give away to our listeners, which is great because now we can maybe incentivize some participation back and forth with us with these dots, we're thinking.
Yep.
Because that's something that we've always wanted to have was either callers or just questions or suggestions kind of to add in things that people want to hear. So we're excited. It's very motivating.
Yep, we really want to make the show more interactive, and so we got a ton of dots to give away. We're really stoked about it. The first thing we're going to do is we have a thread on the Cryptopia forums in the altcoin section, and so if you leave a message essentially in this thread, just leave a message there and your .coin address, and we will hit you up with 2,000 dots. And these dots you can use, they're essentially Cryptopia's native cryptocurrency. That's just a script proof-of-work blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
But you can use them to essentially, you can either trade them for other coins, or you can trade them for Bitcoin, or you can use them to purchase any of the services that Cryptopia has, such as like if you want a coin listing on Cryptopia, you can pay for it in dots.
That's right.
Yep. So, head over to our forums thread in the altcoin section on cryptopia.co.nz. Leave us a message and get some dots.
It's also been a really great week in crypto in general, once again.
Yeah, we're going to jump right into the news here. The biggest news of the week, got to be the Bitcoin halving. What do you think?
Well, it came and went this morning.
Yep,
without too much fanfare, I guess.
Yep, I would say that everything feels pretty much the same to me. I don't know if the mining prices have fallen yet. I was curious to see what the effect will be on like hash prices on like nice hash and stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually checked that out, so I'm curious to see. And I'm also curious to see if the difficulty stalls out.
Yeah, those are both really interesting things. I kind of looked at people's initial reactions to people look at the price.
Yeah.
And it seems like it didn't go down that much to me, but since there was an initial downwardness sort of during that, people pointed at it. But, I think it's hard to forget how high it's come in the last, like, half a month or month, right?
Yeah, and I feel like the block reward halving is something that happens. It's really predictable, and it happens on a really long time scale. And the stuff that happens on the actual market tends to be really unpredictable and happen on a really fast time scale. So I don't really look at the halving really. I don't really look necessarily at the market to see what the effect of it is, at least not day to day, because a lot of investors are going to price that in or whatever.
Yeah. I think you're right about that. In addition to the Bitcoin halving, the Ethereum soft fork is still ongoing, probably going to happen. Apparently, most of the mining pools have accepted the code for the soft fork, as they're calling it.
I wasn't certain that it was going to happen, but it looks like that is the route that they're going to go. They're going to they're calling it a soft fork, and they're going to essentially blacklist the DAO.
And any addresses associated with it.
So does this essentially make the DAO dead?
Yep, it's
the price is way up.
It like dissolved. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Or does this somehow protect the DAO?
It protects it for now. It's almost seems like a Band-Aid. They'll still have to figure out what to do in the long run.
Okay. And so I'm sure a lot of people, of course, were opposed to the idea of this fork. And so...
Well, and there was also a segment that would have preferred a hard fork, which would have just taken place immediately and wouldn't have been as smooth, I guess.
Right.
So it'll be fun to keep watching it.
Yep, we'll see where
But yeah, it's
Ethereum
interesting
goes.
that the DAO's price seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
I don't
And
understand why that would be.
I guess this is kind of a return of people know where the market is going to go now. They know what the resolution. They don't know where the market's going to go, but they know where the community is going to go now. So they have that resolution. So anybody who is waiting on that information to buy or sell will have made their decision now. And so we can actually see what happens going forward.
True, that's nice. It was a high volume week on Polo.
Yep, there were just a lot of altcoins. A lot of altcoins doing a lot of fun stuff. EMC2 and Myriad both continue to be just really volatile. I'm curious to see where these pumps go. They came in really fast, really hot. Are they going to have any legs to them? Or is it going to be like back down to normal in a couple of weeks?
I think back down to normal.
Really?
Yeah, but you can look at how long those coins have already been around. I think both of those were on our 2-year since we've done the show.
Definitely, yeah.
And so, if you look at them on a long cycle, I think there's going to be more points that are good to buy in.
Yep.
It's always going to be risky like anything, of course, but Myriad and EMC2, I don't see them about to disappear.
No, they definitely won't disappear. I'm just wondering what this pump is going to look like.
It feels like those were kind of over.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see it getting back up there for a minute. But, who knows, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've seen some coins gain some massive value in the last year.
Yep, and if it's anything like a VertCoin was a fun one to watch when that pumped.
Ruby coin was good.
Yep, and so that's one of those ones where it looks like this. It just starts, and then you think it's done, but that's actually just kind of the first plateau before the next level.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see where we go with Myriad and EMC2.
Mm-hmm. And Myriad added in another algorithm, too.
Did they? What's the new algo?
I wish I knew off the top of my head, but
Oh, well.
it just kind of came to me that they did. I saw that somewhere.
It's probably like one of the X algos.
I'll try to look it up while you introduce something else here.
There was another coin that pumped today called MMNXT. And I don't know anything about this coin, but it went from, looks like about 4,000 Satoshi to a peak of 47,000. So just another Polo coin to essentially do a 10x like in a day.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That's amazing.
Markets are hot right now, man.
Couldn't find a lot of info about it either.
No.
So the algorithm that Myriad Coin added was YesScript.
Whoa, interesting. That could be probably a really good opportunity for somebody with a GPU miner or something to catch those early YesScript blocks because they'll have a relatively low difficulty. I'm sure that opportunity is already passed, but I'm curious to know how lucrative it was.
Yeah, definitely. They've been kind of good at adding algos. I think that's the second one this year as well.
Yep. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's
well,
cool.
or we covered at least some coin that had added a new algo. I might be mistakenly thinking was Myriad.
I don't recall.
I might look back, but
see here in other news, Steem finally had their huge distribution.
Yep, we've been talking about and looking forward to that for a while now.
And it's real, essentially. It's really cool to see now everybody has the option of cashing out their Steem dollars.
Yeah, very cool.
And we're putting it to the test here at Blockchain Dynamics. We did pick up a few Steem dollars for our just some of our posts of our show.
Yep.
And so we sent them over to Bittrex, and we're going to see if we can sell them for $1.
Yeah, why not?
It's we always see a lot of things that are indexed or whatever, so it'll be fun to see if we can sell our Steem back dollars for $1. That'll be pretty cool. That'd be something that you don't often see in crypto.
Mm-hmm. And last week I was really not. I guess I'm feeling better about the website a little bit this week.
Steem it.
Yeah, the after the payout, the numbers are still pretty high per post, I would say, but they seem a little bit more even.
Yep.
The content is still seems made up.
Yeah.
Largely, like kind of just creative writing style.
Yeah.
But I think that it's making some strides. That stuff will become noise, I think, if the proper community gets built around it, when like more little people are in there, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And right now it's easy for anybody to post on there, but as more and more legitimate users sign up, they'll kind of start to drown out some of like you were saying, the people who are just kind of trying to game the system or just trying to come up with whatever the cleverest thing they can say is to get upvotes.
Right. Or just copying what recently got an upvote.
There's still a lot of people introducing themselves. I don't know how that works, but
Well, I felt like so many of those were fake.
yeah, who knows?
Not me, but that's just how I felt.
So yeah,
and Steam is also in the middle of the Steam token itself is in the middle of a massive price rise at the moment.
yeah, it's about doubled in price this week, coinciding with the release of the distribution of the coins, which is interesting. It's now catapulted up to like number 8 in market cap, I think.
Which is pretty much the opposite of what some people were concerned would happen after July 4th.
Yeah, well, to be fair, most people can't actually get their Steem to market yet. But I guess you could trade your Steem back dollars for Steem on that market, right? We haven't tried their
potentially you
market
could.
yet.
Through the Steemit platform, they have a market where you could trade your Steem back dollars for Steem. What you can't do is power down your Steem power any quicker than the normal rate. So yeah, that does slow down the rate at which people can actually cash out. But now people receive the Steem every day. So if you have something to blog, maybe you can get some money there.
Yeah, there was a cool post this week where Bittrex announced that they essentially wanted to get suggestions from the community for coin listings, and they did it through Steemit, and they generated quite a bit of discussion.
Yeah, that was great to see them supporting that platform that way and sort of using it.
It's
whatever.
more
It's cool.
It's more legit content, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it's really cool to see that.
Syndicate still not listed anywhere. Poor Brandon Doge.
Yep, Syndicate. I've been talking about it since launch. It just seems like a suspiciously coherent coin compared to what we've seen recently.
People looking for coins over the counter for large amounts.
Yep, there's a lot of activity in the thread. Still not listed. Their mining rewards finally went back up. This had a U-shaped mining distribution, which means that at the beginning of the mining period, there was really high rewards, and then it settled into a long period of really low block rewards, and now the rewards climbed up again. I think the mining is actually done now, but the network saw some absurd net hash rates. Like, I think I saw someone say up to 400 gigahash.
Wow.
Which was pretty surprising for a coin that isn't listed. And it seems like I saw a lot of Twitter personalities, a lot of familiar faces in the thread this week. And so it seems like people are starting to suspect that there might be something to it.
Interesting.
So
I do not have any.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I mined a decent amount in the early stages, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm sure that there was a ton of other specific events that we could focus on that happened,
Right.
But that's going to be the end of our news segment, and that's sort of a spot where we need our listeners perhaps to go to our thread at Cryptopia and let us know some news that we can report to people if you think that it's even slightly important. Why not?
Yeah,
Let us know.
If there's something cool that you noticed in crypto this week or that you want us to cover, or something a coin is doing that you think is interesting, post it in our Cryptopia thread, and then we'll give it a shout out on our next show.
The next segment today is our random coin spotlight, which we've been enjoying.
We have
Today we rolled the number 70.
number 70 on CoinMarketCap this week.
Was Expanse.
Expanse. This is a really cool coin to have come up in our random draw, I think. Our last coins have been kind of ones that are tough for us to trade because they've mostly been on Chinese markets. And so it's interesting now to see a really high-profile Western coin come up here.
Expanse is, I think, one that both Brandon and I watched the pump for and wished we had some, but it was felt far too late.
Yep, definitely. I have a few Expanse now that I've been hanging on to, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, actually. It's a fun market.
You can look at the chart anywhere that charts are charted, and perhaps you can find out that there was a low of 906 Satoshis on this coin and a high of about 400,000.
Yep, so it had a huge swing. And it's still, in terms of the market cap, that actually wasn't the peak because Bitcoin was lower then. And so the market cap actually peaked 2 months later, even though the coin value was lower. And so it's had a very interesting market, obviously. It's also got some more interesting stuff on the development side. They're really pushing the DAO angle pretty hard. They're claiming to have solved some of the issues with the original DAO that caused it to be hacked.
Interesting.
And essentially their idea is to compartmentalize it so that no one avenue can get access to all of the coins like this guy was able to. So they're essentially admitting, well, not admitting, I won't say that. They're acknowledging that it's difficult to have perfect security on any system, so you might as well just kind of be smart about how you deal with things. Use layered levels to ensure that you can essentially have a more secure DAO.
Interesting. So are they doing a similar route of the crowdfund, or they seem a little bit more community-based than the Ethereum thing?
Yeah, that's part of their platform, is to be more community-based. I do not know how it was funded. I don't know if it had an IPO or not, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question.
I don't. Was there a name for it either? Did you notice that?
I believe it came out with it as Expanse.
Oh, okay.
And I remember it's the first Ethereum clone.
Oh, but so it itself is the DAO, or is there some sort of way to create?
Oh,
that?
right. Is the DAO like a sub thing of Expanse?
Right,
That
that's what
I'm not sure about.
Because I thought Expanse was just like basically an Ethereum, not cloned, but based on it maybe.
I think it's mirroring the model of the Ethereum DAO, where it's kind of a sub thing that tags along to the Ethereum, in this case to the Expanse blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I just was just looking at this today, actually.
And that's kind of the thrill of the random coin is
yeah,
just
we're not
comes up
always
for us.
yeah
So
we're
it's
not
fun.
always completely aware. You can check out their blog.expanse.tech, and it's very cool crypto blog.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add about that. It looks great. Like I said, I've always wished I had some. I'm sure that there's going to be a good point to buy and trade Expanse.
Yeah.
Be keeping my eye out for that moment.
And that does it for the random coin spotlight. Next, we're going to move on to those new posts. We love the new posts here at Blockchain Dynamics.
Yeah, it's always fun to go through the posts. We try to not do all of the posts that we see because some of them are so bad, but then, it's always a fine line, so we'd like to have fun with it.
You just never know what's going to happen with any of these coins. The launch is sometimes the weirdest stage in a coin's life. Like, the launch can be totally not representative of what the coin is actually like.
Yep.
Or the launch can be a perfect indication of what the coin is like. You see the whole range, and it's just fun to watch.
The first coin we're going to talk about was Jesus Crypto.
Jesus Crypto, the first coin of the week, launched last Sunday. I don't believe it actually launched. It was announced.
Agreed.
This is a pretty funny announcement. Their logo is Jesus with some sunglasses on.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going for the cool Jesus look. Reminds me of the Buddy Christ from Dogma. The Kevin Smith movie.
It looks like a reducing block reward.
Very familiar block schedule. Starts high, first 1,000 blocks, then decreases.
Only 10,000 blocks.
New algorithm. I think he calls it the God's Hammer algorithm.
So sometimes we see these types of announcements and then they just don't end up happening for some reason.
Yeah.
The launch says it will be ninja launched this weekend, and I guess this would be a good one to mine if it's not a security risk and you get in early, right? If you like to mine and you just want to have some fun.
Yeah, it'll be like a CPU mine only thing probably right away. So pretty much anybody could get in on it with a virtual machine. If you get in those first 1,000 blocks and it gets listed, it'll probably be worth it.
Another thing to keep in mind with when people release new algos or CPU only coins is you have to wonder if the developer has more hashing power than you do.
Right.
The answer is probably yes.
And oftentimes there will be experts, people who are experts at coding mining software, will code their own GPU miners or more efficient CPU miners to give themselves an edge. And that can happen on a lot of coins. And honestly, it's usually okay. Like, you can still mine the coin with your CPU, and if it does reach the exchange, you'll probably still come out ahead, assuming that you mined it prior to it getting listed.
Yeah. Mining early is really a great strategy.
It's fun.
If you have the time to do it. There were points in where Brandon and I would mine every coin that came out.
It's true.
That's not the most successful strategy, but it is very fun.
It's fun. And it can be successful if you know essentially when to
when to turn it off.
Yeah, when to mine a tiny amount and when to just keep that nice hash rolling for days and days or whatever. But it's always a lot of fun.
We'll try to let you know if Jesus Crypto actually launches, because it's a very hard to tell type of one.
I agree.
Next post, this is actually not a new coin, but it's a fork of Burst coin that's occurring.
Burst coin. Burst is a really interesting coin. They were the first one to come up with a proof of
storage. Is that what they called it? Or proof of drive?
Proof of capacity.
Proof of capacity.
Is what they called it. Yep. And it's, instead of being based on your CPU power or your GPU power, it's based on the amount of available hard disk you have. So you will essentially dedicate a certain percentage of your hard disk to burst mining, and then you will get an amount of burst or a chance of getting burst based on that. It's a really interesting coin. It's been around for a long time, and it's just always been pretty actively in development and kind of chilling in the background. So this is a coin. It's on Poloniex. It's on Bittrex. This would be, I think, a really good coin to keep your eye on going forward, because it has that cool combination of technology and that active kind of dedicated development.
Yeah, I've always been intrigued by it. I can remember when it came out, and it felt like a good opportunity because there was nothing else like it at the time. But setting up the mining was a little bit cumbersome, and although we knew some people that had done it, and I think you got it going.
Yeah, I mined a few thousand burst in the very early days, but I didn't actually have a lot of hard drive available, so it became not worth it for me to try and go that route.
Mm-hmm. So I remember that moment, and then it seems that it's hard for me to gauge the actual mining price of something like that because of the discrepancy in how people obtain storage capacity.
Yeah, it's interesting. I really wonder what the difference in cost is for like a data center or using a cloud service potentially to mine it.
People were running up virtual machines to mine it at the beginning. I remember that.
Interesting. So yeah, there's Burst. They've got just a bit of a fork coming up. I think it's mostly just a technical update, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
The next post we're going to talk about is a little bit funny for us because it's the CBIT relaunch.
C-Bitcoin. XCT is the ticker.
And we had Martin Williams of CBIT on this show, maybe show 3.
It was our second or our third show that we had this guy on. We had a really long interview with him.
And then the coin didn't do well, and those guys kind of disappeared, like they abandoned their coin.
Yep,
classic style, right?
Seems like they ran into some unexpected difficulties. It's essentially a Bitcoin clone, so it's not based off of any of the typical altcoins. It's an actual Bitcoin clone, but they didn't really tweak the parameters to be really capable of dealing with modern hardware. And so the Instamine became a really big issue for him, where somebody got a huge amount of it right off the bat.
And then maybe once or twice again.
Yep, and then the difficulty retargeting became an issue. Most altcoins come out with difficulty retargeting that will cause the difficulty is essentially how much mining power you need to find a block. And so modern difficulty retargeting algorithms are really fast, and they will adjust really quickly to what the mining power on the network is, whereas Bitcoin's retargeting is really slow. I think it's like a 2-week interval. And so XCT or CBIT got into the situation where the difficulty, somebody put a lot of nice hash, a ton of hash power on the chain, and that caused the difficulty to spike really high. And then after that, nice hash got turned off. Nobody had enough mining power to kick any blocks, and it essentially caused the chain to stall for a long time. And then when the chain finally did come unstalled, there was another Instamine essentially where the difficulty overcompensated, got way too low, and then it was really easy for people to get blocks. So there was just another run of people getting the coin really cheap. And when people get coins cheap, they tend to dump them.
Right.
And
when you can double your money at 6 Satoshi, they'll probably sell them.
Yep.
And so that happened for months, and now
there's a relaunch.
Who knows what the timing of the relaunch is, but they have experienced a price boost and a volume increase, so I don't see a bright future for CBIT personally, but I also could see it doing exactly what Martin Williams wanted it to do, which was kind of just be
a proof of concept for the bigger blocks, right?
Yeah. And it would supposedly be better than Bitcoin because of that.
Right.
Remember he was talking about how at the time the argument was very big about the block size for Bitcoin.
Yep, and essentially they've, I don't want to say resolved it, but they seem to be moving towards a resolution. So in that way, the original purpose of CBIT is maybe has not been realized because they're going in a different direction anyway.
Anyways, they have a relaunch.
Check
We're
it out.
making you aware of it.
Our next post this week is CryptoJacks. This is an ICO. Do you know what's the point? What are they selling us here, Juke?
You know, they got a lot of graphics and stuff.
Gaming. CJ is aimed at offering various facilities, gaming, exchange, mining, and web hosting facilities. And it's an ICO. The funny part of this to us was that they want to do this ICO in 36 rounds.
Right. Over 36 weeks without an escrow.
Yep. Unescrowed ICO for 36 weeks. Right
Holy
now.
Crap. And that's also during the proof of work phase?
Yeah, and there's mining going on this whole time, so it's very strange. Can you imagine buying into this ICO and waiting for 36 weeks to even see what the end of the ICO is like? That's crazy.
That's really confusing. So it's a really strange angle for the development to take as far as those distribution portions are concerned, I would say.
Yep.
Pretty risky.
The Bitcoin address for the IPO only has 0.3 Bitcoins right now, so. And who even knows if that was not just like the developers that sent it there.
You never know.
You never know. Anything's possible in crypto.
The max coins, 500 million. POW reward 20. Pretty slow mining.
Yep. And that's CryptoJacks. Up next is BlueMed. They're advertising this as a centralized crypto. You don't see that very often.
No.
BlueMed. Something that annoyed me about this post is that the entire announcement is in one big graphic.
Right.
And so it's not like text that I can highlight or do anything with. It irritates me.
It's also an ICO.
Another ICO. This one is geared around the idea of binary options. So we've heard a lot about binary options. It's apparently a trading technique. Not technique, but
Yeah, I've never done
method.
it. Yeah. It's like, I've never done it. I tried to read up on it, and it's a little bit confusing to me.
I think it's pretty common in larger markets to see a lot of binary options type trading, but
I know there's been other coins that have tried to do it. Griffin Coin comes to mind. Pen Coin claimed it. I don't think they ever made anything.
So we're not huge experts in high-level trading, but it's interesting to see the coins that are geared at it. It's hard to say if there's going to be anything good coming out of this. It just seems a little cheap, just like a cash grab, I got to say.
The next coin post that we see is DeluxeCoin, and we're going to CryptoCoin talk for this one.
This coin
was a nice departure.
Yeah, we usually see everything announced first on Bitcoin Talk.
Yes.
It's always fun to see when coins are announced on the other websites.
Yep. So this one was announced on a different website, and it's nothing special, really, but
Just
it's a blockchain.
Just a blockchain.
Called DeluxeCoin, DX. It's a POW, it's got POS, and how many coins are there here? There's a lot, man. Woo!
Block reward 339.
474.6 million.
I think I jumped into the source on this one. What are we on? Oh, no, that was the next one. I didn't check for a pre-mine. There's probably a pre-mine there. That's what I would be worried about on this one.
Right. Maybe we'll see it on YoBit.
Maybe we will.
S.O.S. is the next coin.
S.O.S. coin is next, and this was announced on bitcoingarden.tk. So another coin that was announced not on Bitcoin Talk. This is a script proof of work, proof of stake coin. It has an unadvertised pre-mine. I did check the source on this one. So they've got roughly 260 million coins that are mined in POW and a 255 million coin pre-mine. So it's pretty much a 50% pre-mine on this one.
Wow.
Once again, we might see it on YoBit lighten up the sidebar, but not a good coin for miners probably, or really not a good coin for traders unless you're really good at spotting when they're about to pump it or whatever. I don't know.
The next coin was called Community Coin.
Community Coin. This is from Cool and Dark. He's a pool operator of bitcoinpool.us.
And this is his second and last coin, he says.
Says it's his last coin. We've heard that before.
Yeah. But he did a POS coin, and now he's doing a proof of work coin.
Okay.
So maybe he says that he'd like to keep an alive market between the two coins. So some nice aspirations. Be fun to see how things go for him.
He should check out Cryptopia. That'd be an easy way to do that.
Well, which one? The first one's already on there. Cool and Dark.
Is it? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Nice.
I feel like there's been another community coin.
There have been many.
So-
Oh, you mean with the actual name Community Coin?
Yeah.
You're probably right. I did not look that up.
But we'll be keeping an eye on that one, just with the rest of them.
Yep, the second coin from Cool and Dark.
Up next is Uniqredit.
Uniqredit. This is probably the shiniest post of the week, I would say.
Yeah.
It's themed around peer-to-peer lending, and they've got just some nice little graphics. But I didn't find the premise to be all that convincing. They're obviously happy to take our money,
Right.
like so many of these people are.
I just feel like it's too much at once. Like, you need to take it one step at a time, and this is just like a blast of information.
I agree.
Yeah. It's hard to get it. The one part that I was noticing was under, like, they have this one part called the block shares.
Yep.
And if I'm reading this right, the miners donate 80% of each block
Yep, that's
to
how
the
it works.
network.
Yeah, if you go down a little bit more, there's a breakdown of the money supply, and it's 35% for the crowd fund, 2% for the miners, 35% for block shares, and 28% for something called Snapshot.
So it's not great. Doesn't seem great for miners offhand, like right at first glance.
No, I would say probably not. But it does have... It's an interesting post. I think it's worth reading. Of all the posts this week, it's definitely not the least appealing one, I would say.
Agreed. They have a lot of things to say, at least.
Yep, and the premise is kind of cool, peer-to-peer lending. They're trying to do things like have a credit score built into the blockchain. And the whole idea of the block shares is cool. As people who do a lot of mining, we don't really like the idea of a huge percentage of the rewards going away from the blockchain. And the question is, can they keep the chain secure if the miners are getting such a small payout?
Right, sure.
Because it would be, there'd be a lot of incentive for somebody to try and manipulate the chain. But those kind of things can be dealt with in various ways. And that's Uniqredit.
Next up is a pre-announcement for Tao, as in the Tao Te Ching, or
Yeah, we're not experts on the philosophical school, but we do know that Tao has been announced. It is for intelligent transactions, whatever that means. This is another crowd sale.
Right. Yeah.
And so, who knows? A lot of crowd sales coming out right now. How do you even, if you're somebody who wants to invest in this kind of stuff, I don't know how you'd even pick one from the list this week, because they're all pretty, they all kind of sound nice in the technical side and what they're trying to sell. But the problem with all crypto IPOs kind of is that you don't really have any way of trusting the developer.
Right, and we know that statistically, it's not likely that all of these are going to even get to the point where people get the tokens.
Right. So, like, if you don't have any access to the identity of the developers, then I feel like you're really just kind of rolling the dice if you buy into an IPO. But
Sure. And nonetheless, it could be a great one, so you never know.
Yeah, there's no saying that a human couldn't make a sweet-ass coin, do an IPO essentially anonymously, and come up with something cool.
This particular one doesn't even begin for like 18 days, so
Oh,
maybe
really?
we'll give an update on it at that point.
Yep, that's Tau.
Up next is Project First Blood, which is a hilarious name.
Yeah, Project First Blood.
Like Rambo.
A little bit. It does remind me of Rambo. That's a funny comparison.
Rambo First Blood.
Yep.
What
Esports.
we see a lot of times that coins continue to come out when things are just popular in the culture, internet-wise or globally. And of course, esports are on the rise. And so you expect to see more and more of these esports coins. And I think some of them have been successful, at least
Yeah, a
some
few of them
extent.
we've seen them on the charts. GameBet is one, and this was compared to GameBet early on. It's actually pretty funny if you read the thread. The developer is kind of trash talking GameBet, but the idea here is that you can challenge somebody to a match in some video game, some esport, and then the system will validate. You can not bet money on it. They don't necessarily say you bet money on it, but it kind of sounds like that's how it works. And then whoever wins, the result is validated through the blockchain by a jury somehow. And then the winner essentially will get paid.
Cool.
The idea is to facilitate decentralized esports competition.
Nice.
And I thought this one, it was a DAO proposal before the DAO went downhill. And so now they're coming out with it just essentially as an IPO.
Oh, okay.
I thought this is probably the best looking IPO this week. There's just so many. In my opinion,
one.
of course.
Yet another one.
I'm not an expert on IPOs. I've been wrong on probably more IPOs than I've been right about, but
Yeah. And we don't really buy into very many of them in the end.
no, not really.
Up next, we saw Heat.
Heat Chain.
This one's claiming 3.0 crypto.
This is Crypto 3.0, folks. We've heard about Blockchain 2.0 for a long time. Smart contracts. That's Blockchain 2.0. So what's Blockchain 3.0 about?
Well, we see a lot of things that people want within crypto, right? To talk about scalability here.
He's utilizing a chain of blockchains. He's using off-heap memory mapped binary files.
Things we just don't really understand, most likely.
But he says that it's going to be able to support 1,000 transactions
I
per
did
second.
understand that part, yeah.
So, as somebody who doesn't necessarily understand everything behind the technology and can't really parse how serious all of these posts are, this is the sort of thing where I would look at it and say, all right, you're going to build a coin that can handle 1,000 transactions per second. Maybe I'll check it out when I can see you. Show me the block explorer with
Right.
1,000 transactions per second, essentially.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then I'll be like, all right, this is badass.
And surprise, surprise, it's an ICO.
Oh, is it? Oh, great. Wonderful.
So we'll try to keep an eye on it.
Yep, we'll
But
keep
all
an
these
eye.
ICOs just start to blend together, before some of them seemed like, Lisk definitely
Stood out. Yep.
We'll see how it goes. I feel like that one might have Ethereum kind of sparked it all, right?
Right.
Lisk really helped out keep it going.
I agree.
Notice that
There's probably 6 or 7 just this week.
up next we have one that actually has an airdrop, which we haven't seen for a while.
Yep.
Because Decred started that entire airdrop phase,
It did.
and that phased out pretty much until now. We see one more airdrop.
Yep.
Which is small, probably.
The original airdrop, of course, was Aurora Coin, but we saw very few airdrops between that and Decred, which was probably the most valuable airdrop in history.
Very accessible to people in crypto at the time.
And very accessible. And so we've seen a lot of airdrops since. Not as many as there have been ICOs, but there was one this week. It was called Chronos Coin. That's our next coin. It was kind of a ninja.
That was today.
Yep, yeah, this was just today, actually. Kind of a ninja launch. He announced an airdrop right away. He told everybody to post in the thread that they were interested.
Right.
Which I did, because I was like, all right, I'll sign up for this airdrop. Why not?
Oh, nice.
And then my post got deleted. They deleted all the posts because it...
Oh, the Bitcoin talk.
Yeah,
people
the
did?
moderators did. And so then he had a deal where you post your Twitter and you can get an airdrop share, and you can post your Bitcoin Talk identity with an address for the coin. So I went ahead and installed it on a virtual machine or whatever, and went ahead and gave him my address. So I'll see if I get any Chronos Coin.
Okay, cool.
There was some speculation that this was the developer of the Creed and PowerCoin, but you'll see that kind of speculation. There's no way to know if there's any basis to it. I didn't see him post an analysis of the source or the nodes or anything that would actually kind of be an actual evidence of there being a link. But it seems like with these airdrop coins, if you can sign up for it, you might as well.
The final new post we're going to speak about on this show just was earlier today as well, and it was Taj Coin, Taj.
Taj Coin. It's a POW-POS hybrid, proof of work and proof of stake. Its algorithm is Blake2S. This is an unusual algorithm. We don't see it very often. Did this actually launch?
I'm trying to determine how it's going. It looks like it's launching 7/10.
Oh, not even launched yet. Just an announcement. Yeah. Looks like a pretty normal blockchain. 900,000 block proof of work. That's pretty long for a proof of work chain.
Yeah.
Especially for a mixed proof of work, proof of stake.
So, Taj Coin. There it is.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what the pre-mine situation is like. We've just seen a lot of these long proof of work coins with huge pre-mines lately.
Yeah.
Which, that's probably why Syndicate stuck out, because it's the first coin in a while that was just here's a proof of work with no pre-mine or whatever.
Sure. Makes it much more legit for people to mine and invest in.
Yeah, you used to see it a lot where developers would release no pre-mine, no IPO coins.
Well, remember there was a time when people would be like 5%, and people would be like, 5%? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, people would be like,
get the fuck out of here with your 5% pre-mine.
There was a period where
2%?
people... Yeah, 2%, what? Now that's like the low range. It's almost unusual to see something lower than that. But a lot of these coins end up not going anywhere.
Right, they don't.
So.
And no pre-mine seems to be a really good thing still when you see it.
Yep. There was a period of time where developers would just release tons of no pre-mine coins. And then they would catch the Instamine and wait for it to hit on YoBit and dump it immediately. That became a really common thing kind of, I want to say late last year, there was just a ton of it. And we've kind of seen less of it now, and they've shifted into this high pre-mine model of shitcoins where they will do a 5% pre-mine and then pay for a YoBit listing. And then hopefully try and get their money back out of it.
That's going to do it for our new coins and our new posts.
That's the new posts of the week.
Which will take us into our coin listing section, which is where we look through some different altcoin exchanges and find which coins they're listing.
Yep, we like to keep track of when coins are getting on exchanges. That's always a big moment in a coin's life. And it's fun to see what the different exchanges are doing as well.
Definitely. The first one we're going to talk about today is on Bittrex. They listed LBC, aka apparently LBRY credits, which I'm thinking is like library credits. Library?
Yeah, I believe that's...
Library.
I think that's the angle. Yeah, library.
And we looked at the video, and it's essentially a content distribution platform on the blockchain. The software doesn't seem to exist yet, which is never the greatest thing, but there's plenty of instances where people do release the software that they are trying to.
Yep.
However, it's listed on Bittrex. The trading is very new, and there actually seems to be some mining that I'm interested with this one. When I looked it up, there's CPU mining going on for Linux and Mac OS X. So they have some instructions on their website that I might try out, see if I can actually get some of these coins and compare it to the price that the market's at right now, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I thought this was a really interesting addition. It seems like this coin has been in development for a while, and they deliberately avoided the traditional kind of crypto distribution channels that we're used to. Like, yet again, another coin that I don't think I ever remember seeing a Bitcoin Talk post for it.
Yeah, unless it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, unless it was like a last year or something when I wasn't paying attention as closely. But
yeah.
So it's interesting to see this come out on Bittrex now. Kind of a cool addition from them.
The market cap seems a little inflated.
Yeah, it seems like it could be.
Well, what did you see it at when did you calculate it there?
Well, you said there was 1 billion total coins eventually, and it's
Yeah,
at
eventually.
38,000 Satoshi, which is like a 400,000 Bitcoin market
Okay,
cap or
at its
something.
maximum.
But I don't know.
What it's at
I have
right
no
now.
idea what percentage of the coins is distributed right now. So the actual current market cap is probably a lot lower. And we don't know what the pre-mine situation is like either.
So anyway, an unexpected listing from Bittrex, and I'm going to check out the mining. I'll let everyone know how that goes next week.
Another interesting listing from Bittrex this week, Steem-backed dollars.
Right, which is the secondary currency on the Steem blockchain.
Yep, Steem has a kind of complicated
Yeah.
method of different tokens. You have Steem Power, you can have Steem-backed dollars, and you can have the actual Steem blockchain tokens.
Right.
And there's kind of a complicated relationship between them. The idea with these Steem-backed dollars, if I understand it correctly, is they're supposed to be worth $1.
$1 worth of Steem.
$1 worth of Steem.
Yeah.
And so there should be an arbitrage essentially there that will cause the Steem-backed dollars to be worth $1 worth of Bitcoin as well.
Right.
And so, as we mentioned earlier, we're testing that. We got some Steem-backed dollars on Bittrex, and we're going to see if they sell for $1.
On YoBit, they listed a few coins. They listed LetItRide, which is an ICO that we covered 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Yep, it was another casino-themed ICO. I mentioned it was a more interesting-looking ICO than some of the others that we've seen. I didn't buy it because I had just bought into that breakout ICO, which I ended up just kind of selling out of really quickly as well, because all the ICOs seem a little shaky right now.
Yeah, and it's just getting to that point, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how this is comparing to its IPO price.
Me neither. It seems to be pretty flat, though.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with LetItRide. They also listed SwapToken on YoBit. I don't. Do you remember SwapToken?
Nope, not offhand.
They also listed Putin.
Yeah, so now a lot of
This
people
one
have
I do
listed that
remember.
at this point.
Yep, Putin coin. It looked like a joke coin at the beginning. It's had huge volume and a really fast declining price. So it kind of reminds me of like Supreme Coin and those other coins that were like that. Just kind of a really high volume, really fast downhill, kind of really high pre-mine type coins.
Yep.
And they listed Rise.
Rise, the little ICO that might.
The little ICO that might rise in value, but not so far.
So that is YoBit.
That's the YoBit listings. Pretty light week for YoBit. Pretty light week for listings in general. We had been seeing like tons of coins get listed every week, but
Yeah, that was weird.
it feels like the shit coins are slowing down a little bit. We had a lot this week, especially ICOs. Not so many last week, so I'm curious to see what the pace of coin releases is.
I think we're seeing a lot of coins just not coming out.
Yeah, like they get announced and then never actually make it to the blockchain portion.
We'll next week is our 20th show, and we'll do some analysis of those types. Just like we did on the 10th show, how many coins we've covered and which ones are still around, and
Yep, on our
basically how it's going.
On our 10th show, we did like a summary. We went and looked back kind of at all the coins we'd seen and got some statistics of how many are still trading, how many ever got released and stuff. And so we're going to do that again for episode 20. We're really looking forward to it.
We'll also have Not So Fast Crypto with us to join in the discussion,
Yep.
and that's always a treat.
Special guest Not So Fast to talk about another hilarious couple months in crypto. But back to our coin listings.
C-Cex listed Happy Creator Coin,
Happy Creator Coin on C-Cex.
which is not... It looks like a Korean coin.
Interesting. I feel like South Korea is a little underrepresented in the blockchain game, so I would be interested in seeing more Korean coins.
The other one that was listed was 10 coin or I0.
I think it's I0.
I0 because the IO is taken.
This is an old coin that's been it's been around a lot of exchanges.
NovaExchange listed EDRC.
They must be chasing that volume.
But you know what? No, there's been no trading. There's no EDRC on there.
The ADR coin bot hasn't
Yeah, isn't that
caught wind
interesting?
of it yet.
And then CometCoin.
CometCoin.
Alcurex listed StakeToken.
StakeToken, another coin that's been making its way around the small exchanges.
They listed Waves.
Waves, that's a coin that's been making its way around the big exchanges, except Poloniex.
And for some amazing way, they listed CryptoJacks.
Yeah, they listed CryptoJacks, which is that funny ICO that has the 36-week IPO with 36 round distribution. So we were kind of surprised to see it on Alcurex this week. I don't think there was any actual trading on it, so we're not sure what's really going on there.
Yeah, maybe they just knew the right people to get listed on there or paid a price or something.
Yeah, maybe they just paid the fee.
That's going to be the listings that we have for this week.
Those are the listings.
Next up is our coin birthday.
Coin birthdays.
We found one coin with a 2-year birthday this week was StealthCoin. XST is the ticker on that.
XST StealthCoin. This is a coin that came out, like you said, 2 years ago. And I had the pleasure of mining this right at launch. I'm trying to remember if it had something shifty that went on it first or not. I know that the announcement is from a couple months after it launched.
That's the one that I linked to there is like the second announcement. The first one, of course, is locked and they're like, move to this one. So I didn't look very close at the first one.
Was it a takeover, do you know?
No, I don't know that.
No.
But I know that it had a huge pump at the beginning of its life.
It was, of course, playing on the dark coin, kind of following in the shadow of the dark coin pump.
Yep.
So it's following that future set of stealth messaging, all that kind of stuff.
And it seems to have a thread that people are still posting in. So I don't think I'd say it's dead. One thing I thought was funny is it had the proof of dev from...
Crypto Asian proof of developer?
No, the other one that was around, the orange one. What's it called?
Earls?
No, I'll look it up.
Oh, right. I remember what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
It seems like this coin is still around, honestly. It's trading on Poloniex and Bittrex.
Oh, shoot. They also have the Crypto Asian one, but they're also crypto certified. Anyway, so they've got certified. It all. I mean, we are making fun of them, but
it actually looks
truthfully, they've made it a long way, 2 years, and they seem to still be trying to develop some things. It looks like maybe something that they worked on didn't work out, but they have a lot of features.
And actually going back and looking at this, I kind of forgot about this coin. And this is a pretty nice looking post right now. It seems like they really actually have been doing a lot with this.
Right, yeah. I mean, they've been doing it.
So nice job to StealthCoin. Congratulations on your 2-year birthday, and we'll keep our eyes out. And I think that is going to do it for show number 19.
Yes, indeed.
Once again, don't forget to check out our next show, show number 20 with Not So Fast, and our big 10-week recap. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're really stoked. And also,
we are brought to you by Cryptopia.
www.cryptopia.co.nz.
Win some dots from us by heading to their forum, going to the altcoin section, finding that sweet blockchain dynamics forum thread, and giving us a shout, maybe giving us a suggestion, just telling us
any thoughts, man.
Anything you're thinking.
Yep, we're really excited about working with Cryptopia. We really like Cryptopia, so we're really stoked to be able to partner with them in giving away all of these dots. So definitely check out the forum thread there on Cryptopia.
Well, this has been Blockchain Dynamics.
My name's Brandon Doge.
I'm Woody. It's Air by Trial Radio.
Peace.
Currency.